In a world plagued by reboots, haunted by sequels, dominated by the same old shit, get ready for an original podcast that will gouge out your eyeballs and skull fuck you. Starring Ginger Josh, Adam the Hare, and introducing the immortal Frank. Hold on to your butts. It's the Game Rage Movies TV Podcast.
Yes. We're here for another episode of the Game Rage Movies and TV Podcast. I'm Josh, here today with Adam.
Yes, hello.
On a very somber note, we literally just had 9/11 happen. And if you want to hear what we're talking about, go to the BFN show or the Buttfuck Nowhere show, latest episode called We're Shutting the Studio Down. Because I think we may be shutting the studio. This may be the last episode you'll ever hear. Okay, not really, but...
For today.
This will be the last episode you listen to today. But go listen to the BFN show and you can hear what the fuck we're talking about with this tragedy, the miscarriage of justice that has just taken fucking place. And if you want to hear our other stuff we got, you can go to GameRageMagazine.com. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Go on YouTube where you can watch all of our cool things at Game Rage Magazine there. Adam's at All Gas No Trash Official, and maybe go listen to the All Gas No Trash podcast while you're at it if you like music.
Or don't, because you didn't fucking help us.
Clearly you fuckers didn't. You didn't help us, but we'll get to that on the BFN show soon enough. So anyways, today we're here to talk about The Bear.
The Bear.
Season 2, episodes 9 and 10.
You fucking Johnny-come-latelys, you sons of bitches.
Fucking Johnny-come-latelys. Couldn't fucking show up.
Couldn't turn it to 11. Couldn't get us to 2,000.
Couldn't fucking do it. You mean to tell me that 4 of you couldn't just go listen to something else on our network? Because I know you're all not listening. You know what? Well, I'll save that dressing down for the BFN show.
Oh my god! Fuck. Now I'm just gonna. Now I'm just gonna put it on Carmi, dude. Now I'm gonna concentrate all.
I mean, fuck that guy. He deserves it. He is a fucking piece of shit.
Honestly,
he is. Like I said, he will be the downfall of this fucking organization. And I can't wait until he's homeless. I can't wait until he develops a fentanyl addiction and then kills himself like his brother. Because at this point, that's what he deserves.
I think it's gonna happen. I don't know if this show is gonna end on a happy note.
No, I think he's gonna hang himself in the walk-in. That's what I think is gonna fucking happen.
It's possible.
And then Claire's gonna come in and find him dead. And then she'll be scarred for life too. Good, she deserves it too. But anyways, episode 9. Will you take notes? You got it?
Oh yeah, I took fucking notes.
Yeah, let's hear about it, player.
All right. So we start off with episode 9, which was... Start off with Carmi having sex with Claire. They're having the coitus. Sid's uniform is dirty and she's taking anti-acid tablets because she's fucking freaking out. Having anxiety.
Because she actually cares about what's going on.
Yeah, dude. I mean, fuck me, dude. For the entire season, Carmi has blown her off about pretty much fucking everything. So, yeah, naturally Sid or Sydney has to stand up and be the man of the fucking joint.
Yeah.
So, fuck Carmi. Well, that'll be consistently said throughout the episode, pretty much from now to the end.
Yeah.
So Sid's dad is an NPC.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He is actually an NPC.
He is a literal NPC. King NPC, I think, actually.
He rubs me the wrong way in so many ways because this motherfucker works. I don't remember what he does, but he he can't cope with that. He can't cope with his daughter trying to strive for more, and this motherfucker just constantly brings her down by saying, "Oh, you should just take a job at Boeing, or you should just do this or that."
Yeah.
Why are you even bothering with this chef shit? You're not getting anywhere with it.
You're not making any money. It's you're just gonna fail like you did last time.
So,
what a piece of shit.
Can't stand the fellow. So Carmi starts having a panic attack, and Sid sees the restaurant. Sid sees the restaurant from I think it was a previous episode that it was somebody that she knew, and that the restaurant was going to be closing down. And she's like, "Oh shit, I'm already having anxiety about opening this place," and then I already see places shutting down in other parts of Chicago. It's like, fuck, what chance do we stand? So then Carmi talks to Sugar about tipping and what they're gonna do as far as like the food and all that shit. And also Sugar points out that the beef needs to have safe serve certification, and that Ibra hasn't done the training for that. So he needs to do food handling certification, because in the last couple episodes he fucked off from going to culinary school or pretty much doing anything, and he needs to get back on track. Sugar invites their mom to the shop, and Carmi's like, "All right, well, fuck it, might as well have her if she's gonna partake in my journey of starting this restaurant." And then he starts like fucking getting hissy. He gets a hissy fit about the painting on the wall that Sugar put up. And I'm like, dude, you have no fucking authority to talk about anything because you opted to not take responsibility for the restaurant. So you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking bastard.
So Carmi's been slacking off, and Sugar's like, you need to fucking get on this shit about the refrigerator. The handle keeps fucking breaking, and you need to take care of it. He's like, oh yeah, I'll fucking take care of it.
Yeah, I'll get to it.
So naturally, Carmi doesn't take care of it. So Carmi is talking about his strained relationship with his mom to Sid, and Sid starts talking about her relationship with her father, and they kind of have this nice little moment where they're working on a table. And I don't know if it was just me. I don't know if you can read this situation the same way, but I almost felt like this felt like somewhat of a intimate or somewhat romantic interaction between Sydney and Carmi.
Yeah, it was like feeling like it was trying to.
It was becoming that. It felt like it.
Yeah, it was getting something happening.
If I had to personally like assess the situation, like even though it felt like that, I don't think they're actually going to end up together. I think they're more business partners and more platonic, but that moment felt like it. I feel like maybe in the future seasons they're going to try it out to see if they could be a couple.
Yeah.
But it's not going to work out. I think it's going to be more platonic. But for that instance, it felt like it was, I don't know. I thought there was some kind of romantic kindling there. So Richie and Sugar start talking about prices and reservations. And as far as they know, the only days they have booked are the following week. I think they have a whole week booked, but everything after that, not really sure. It's up in the air. And Sugar's just reiterating that they basically have to make money every day if they're going to stand a chance. And Cicero has to be convinced that this thing's going to make fucking money.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out the pricing to entice people. And I think she says, like, we have to move the price up to like $5 or $7. And Richie's like, fuck. Yeah, it might have to happen. So then there's chaos in the kitchen, and Carmi is slipping on his employees, meaning that he is starting to get a little more unhinged and being a bit of a dictator. Marcus, who throughout this season has been in Copenhagen trying to level up and bring 3 desserts for the restaurant so that they could have at opening, which he eventually does. And one of the desserts that he presents is the Michael, which is obviously to pay respect and honor Carmi's brother.
Yeah.
Which is the cannoli that he mentioned he wanted to have, the savory cannoli. And everybody's just like, man, big props to fucking Marcus. Big ups.
Big ups to the Marcus.
Yeah, you did the fucking Sammy Sosa.
Yeah.
Fingers pointed in the air. So Cicero, I think, is talking to either Carmi or Sugar, I can't remember, and is telling them that Ibra needs to get like an 8-hour online course to get that certification, the Safe Serve certification. And Cicero eventually gives the actual business certification to Carmi, making it official that they're actually a business. And Cicero, this is the part I really liked about this episode, was like the story about Alex Gonzalez, who was on the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
Did you want to say it?
Yeah. He fucking basically gives him this whole story about how, oh man, this dude, like, he's like, oh, am I gonna catch the ball with my hand? He gets his ground ball, I'm gonna catch it with my hand. Oh, I'm gonna catch it with my glove. Maybe I'll do it both. Maybe I'll catch it and do this. Fucking, then he fumbles the ball and fucks it up, right? And then he's like, then like the next inning, what happens? A fan ends up fucking reaching out and trying to catch a ball and catches it, and it was a foul ball that would have been a third out or whatever, and it leads to this whole fucking thing. And so then he's telling him like, oh yeah, so we don't want to be like that guy, right? And he's like, no, you don't want to fucking be the other guy. He's like, are you even fucking paying attention to me? And he gives this whole story about how all these things go wrong. And it's like one thing fucking started the whole train, but then it doesn't even matter anymore by the end of it. Because so many things were fucked up, it doesn't matter how it started. Nobody even fucking remembers that. Like, we don't remember that guy's name.
But there was one person responsible for it.
Right.
And Carmi is solely
the guy.
Yeah, he's the fall guy.
Right. And then that's what he's saying. It was like, but then the immediate fucking thing he says after that, after he tells him this whole fucking story, he goes, and he talks about focus. Like, he's telling him this whole thing about focus, and you got to be this, and you got to. They literally didn't keep their eye on the ball. He literally is saying that, and he's like, "Yeah, so I'm kind of dating somebody." That's his first fuck. I'm like, you a fucking piece of shit. He literally gave you this whole speech about how this is all your fault. I want you to succeed, but if it doesn't, it's on you. It's all on you, and you need to keep your eye on the prize. You need to maintain that laser focus. Oh, well, I'm kind of dating somebody. Nope, wrong answer. Wrong. And then he says, the best thing he says, Jimmy says to him is like, oh yeah? You're dating somebody? And he goes, yeah. And he just goes, uh-oh.
Well, before he actually said that, he said, oh yeah, I'm real happy for you.
Oh, that's right.
That's great. That's something that I think you needed.
Yeah.
But he also says, uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Like, you're in trouble, bitch.
I would not be saying that. I would say you need to fucking take care of that because you have $2 million. Or actually, how much is he in? Like $900,000, $800,000?
He's in $800,000 because he gave him 3, and then initially was the 3 that he owed him, and then he gave him 5
more. Yeah, so he's 800. I would not be saying that. I'd be like,
and he also spent $300,000 of that money that they fucking. So he's spent $1.1 million. Jesus Christ, man. And you got to pay Cicero back $800,000.
Carmi does not know how to read a room. He's kind of stupid.
No,
he
is fucking stupid. He might be autistic. I don't know, man.
He might be a fucking idiot.
He is for sure an idiot.
So Cicero tells him, you need to stay fucking focused, you fucking idiot. The margin for error is basically 0.
None. Yeah.
And Cicero is happy Carmi's dating, but he says, uh-oh, at the very end. Sid makes an omelet for Sugar because she's pregnant and shit. Sugar loves it. Sugar gives Sid a hug. Ibrahim is doing like the online course. He's like, what does he say? He's like, oh yeah, I'm in or some shit.
Oh yes, I'm in. I do this. Like.
So Carmi calls the fridge guy, or so he thought, and he ends up ignoring Claire's call that he got at the same time. Sid and Marcus have like a awkward moment where he asks her out and she's like, oh no, not right now. She kind of plays it off and Marcus is like, what the fuck? He's like, we're good, right? And she just wanders off. So Sid ends up rejecting Marcus's advances, and Fack has now elevated himself to being a server and basically is under Richie's tutelage at this point. Richie wants to be attentive to their guests, so pretty much everything that he learned at the other restaurant, he's going to be applying for the Bear itself. And the irony of Carmy lecturing about not losing focus when they're talking to the staff and they're like, oh yeah, let's all get in lockstep with each other so we can have a good night of service for our, soft opening or whatever. And he's talking about focus. It's like, man, shut the fuck up, dude. You have no authority to say that.
Yeah, you fucking hypocrite.
You bitch ass hypocrite.
Bitch ass hypocrite. Get fucked.
So they're having this team talk about accountability and transparency, and it parallels what was going on in the other kitchen with the Chef Terry and stuff. And Richie and Fack are basically buddies at this point. Claire I thought Claire wasn't invited to the dinner because he kept fucking forgetting or not directly inviting her.
Yeah.
So then Carmy and Sid are talking about focus while they're fixing the table. Sid has fears about fucking up. Carmy reassures Sid that she's earned her spot, just letting her know, hey, you've earned this. You can't have imposter syndrome right now. You need to be
on top of your game here.
And Carmy, towards the end of the episode, has a gift for Sydney, which is her own uniform with her own initials and shit, and it's all baller and whatnot. And the cooking gets underway. Fack and Marcus's roommates are delivering cheese or some bullshit. And Tina thought she was borrowing Carmy's knife, but Carmy actually gave the knife to Tina. And it just ends with Sydney basically saying, let it rip to say, all right, well, now we're officially open for business. This is all legit. And now they're ready to go. So that's how the episode ends. What do you have to say about the episode?
AIDS. Well, I mean, AIDS for Carmy is a terrible fucking person.
He honestly is.
He is a shitbag.
There's no excuse.
I can't believe that he, up until this point, all the shit that he's gone through in his life, and you're gonna not put everything you have into this. You're gonna fucking be distracted with side things. You're gonna be fucking. And listen, I'm okay with being distracted with side things to a certain extent, but not to the detriment of
your own business.
The business, not to the detriment of what you're trying to do. Because yeah, it's okay to have a girlfriend or whatever, or have a life on the side, but if it's hindering and making you get behind on things you should be going for and doing for the business, then man, you're fucking up. You're on the path to failure.
For me, it's the fact that he's the leader and he's disrespecting everybody else's time and effort, that these guys are going to have to collect the check at the end of the day. And if he sabotages them, then everybody else is not going to collect a check either. So he owes them the fucking courtesy or the decency to make sure this thing is the best thing it could possibly be. Because everybody else is on board. They've been pulling their weight. They've been going to school. They've been leveling up their chefing skills. They've been learning. Sydney has been carrying her weight as a leader, even though she didn't even ask to be. She's been carrying her part, and Carmy hasn't been meeting her halfway. And I can't believe it, man. Main character is a shithead.
He is an NPC. He is turning into a fucking NPC. And I don't know if that's because he's a product of his environment or if that's just the way he fucking is.
Yeah, so now we get to episode 10, which is the finale of season 2. So Sid is handling orders and managing. Richie greets everyone. Claire and Sid's dad are there in attendance, along with some other guests that were reoccurring characters or characters that were introduced in previous episodes.
Yeah.
Sid is overwhelmed with the orders. One of the employees fucks off. I guess this guy's name is Josh, and nobody knows where he's at. Marcus and Sid will take care. It initially started with Marcus and Sid tag teaming orders, and Sydney, for someone that should be technically a leader, she's starting to like sabotage herself or sell herself short, because she's like, oh wait, no, can we get somebody else to help me out with the fucking orders? And they basically pin Marcus to help her out.
Yeah.
And Marcus is like, are we cool, man? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I know I asked you out, but are we cool? And she's like, I don't know.
Okay, bye.
Couldn't give him a straight answer. And P is trying to reassure Sugar that everything's cool, and he doesn't believe that Carmi's mom is actually gonna show up, or since she was invited or anything. He's like, nah, slim chances. You know how she is. I'm like, I know how she is. It ain't happening.
Yeah.
So Sugar finds out or realizes that the silverware, they've basically ran through the silverware and they need to get more. And Richie, in the same segment, Richie's trying to goad Carmi into saying hello to Claire, and Carmi's like flipping. He's like, no, I gotta have my orders, and I can't talk to Claire right now. Throwing a little hissy fit like a bitch.
Yeah, man, he really was.
So then the kitchen starts turning into fucking chaos, and Marcus actually flips out on Sid. I mean, that was like a first for the guy that's usually pretty all right, like pretty mellow and shit.
Yeah.
Sydney needs Fact to check on her dad, and Fact also has to check on the toilet, and Sugar finds out that the fucking toilet is doing some bullshit, and she's like plunging it, and then it just explodes on her, and she gets a bunch of toilet water on her. And Sydney starts exhibiting only briefly, but she starts exhibiting signs of what Carmi has been doing to other employees, being a fucking dictator. And Carmi is losing his shit over cold dishes. So the service is not going that great on their soft opening. And Carmi is like, dude, we're serving fucking cold dishes. You better not fucking send that out. We need to restart that shit and get going. So he ends up going into the fridge to get something, and he ends up getting fucking locked inside the goddamn fridge because because of his lack of responsibility or accountability, the door that he was supposed to fix ends up being his undoing. And how fitting, dude. How poetic.
Indeed.
Poetic justice. So then Sid starts fucking melting down. She's like zoning out, and she's like, I don't fucking know if I can make this situation any better. What the fuck is going on? So then Sid and Richie are going to keep the service going, and Richie's telling her like, dude, we have 5 fucking minutes to turn this around. I think I could take care of this. And he ends up taking the role that Jess served at the other restaurant with Chef Terry, where she's just sending out orders, taking care of everything. So Richie knows how to do orders in the same way that Jess does from the other restaurant. And then Sid is just basically able to take care of the kitchen itself. So then things start to get flowing, and Carmi's like losing his shit in the refrigerator. And Sugar finds out Carmi is in the fridge. Richie needs Fact to be the front of the house. So Richie is basically having Fact be the head of the service, I guess, the hospitality, I guess.
Yeah.
So Gary or Sweeps was able to get the forks so that they can make it through the night. Carmy is still losing his shit. Sid's dad is like looking proudly at her, or rather of what they've been able to accomplish with the restaurant, even though they still haven't gotten their food. So then Donna, Carmy's mom, shows up, and Donna doesn't think... She doesn't think it's a good idea that she should show up and interrupt like the good time that the restaurant is presumably having. And she also doesn't think she's capable of apologizing to all her kids for fucking them up. And she's like, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be here and all that shit. And then Pete basically spills the beans that Sugar and him are having a baby. And eventually Donna decides that she's just not going to end up going to inside the restaurant, and that she's like, I need you, Pete. I need you to reassure me that it's okay if I walk away. And Pete's like, what the fuck, dude? You're fucking crazy, dude.
He's like, I don't know what to do, man.
And then, so Richie closes the night out. Carmy losing focus cost him the night.
Yep.
Basically entrapped inside that refrigerator. Marcus goes outside and catches up with the employee that fucked off. And it turns out he's doing meth. So then we cut back to Pete, who's like crying.
It's funny what he says. He's like, is that meth? And he's like, yeah, barely.
Yeah. What an asshole.
What an asshole, man.
So then Pete goes to Sugar and they're sitting at the table. He's like, dude, there's so many goddamn people. I don't even know what he says. He doesn't actually complete like a whole sentence. He's like, man, there's so much history and there's people. And she's like, what are you trying to fucking say? He's like, oh, I love you. But I think what he was trying to get to is that he's like, I know the way you are is because of your fucking mom. It's basically a miracle that you're a functioning human being. But he basically says he loves her. And then Marcus informs Sydney that Josh, who was the guy that was doing meth, was doing drugs, and like, we should probably fire him. And so they end up firing him. Carmy tells Tina that he brought this on himself, referring to everything that's been happening, that's been going wrong with the restaurant. He brought that on himself, which is technically true. Like, he is the asshole of this whole season. Like, he basically fucked off in his responsibilities, and rightly so. He fucking deserved it. So Richie takes a chocolate banana to Cicero, who was also part of the night. Well, shit, he basically paid for the whole restaurant. He better be fucking invited.
Yeah, true.
So Richie gives Cicero this chocolate banana, which was a callback to, I think, it was a callback to the dinner episode, because I think he was talking about how when he was a kid, his father had like given him banana, like a chocolate banana.
Yeah.
And like I think he was like, oh shit, man, this Richie fellow remembered that small detail that happened so many years ago. Completely flabbergasted, left in awe, I suppose. And Carmy goes like on a whole fucking tirade and says that he failed the group, and Tina is trying to comfort him. And Neil is trying to... Fack is trying to explain Carmy's situation with Claire, or rather, Carmy's situation to Claire, and he's telling her, like, dude, he's stuck in a fucking fridge. I don't think it's a good time to talk to him right now. And then Sid is having an episode herself, and she ends up stepping outside the restaurant and starts puking. And Carmy says he fucked himself being in a relationship, and he's like, I don't need enjoyment. I don't need amusement. He doesn't need any of that. It's a distraction to him. And now he understands what he needs to do, because he's a fucking psycho. And in order for this restaurant to work, he needs to deprive himself of any fucking joy, which is what
that's true.
Yeah. I'm like, that's what I needed out of you, brother.
Yeah.
And Claire basically overhears Carmy's words, and she's like, son of a bitch, this motherfucker doesn't love me. And Richie checks in on Claire, and Claire is just like, oh, thanks for the night and everything, but I gotta get going. So Richie is pissed at Carmy. He's like, dude, what the fuck did you do to her? And he's like, they start exchanging words, and Richie calls Carmy fucking Donna.
Oh man, that was.
And
I was like,
he
that's
sets him off, and then Carmy starts lacing into Richie, basically calling him a terrible father. He's a fucking loser. They exchange some heavy blows, and then Richie comes in. He must have been saving this one, but he tells him, "Where were you when we fucking put your brother in the ground?"
Yeah, man.
I'm like, damn, that is some dirt upon dirt, dude.
Oh yeah.
So Carmy checks his phone, and he eventually gets to hear a message that Claire left behind, and she basically says that she had a crush on him since she was a kid, and he needs to slow down and enjoy these moments, and that she's really proud of him. And she says the words "I love you," and the motherfucker hangs up, deletes it. He's like, I don't want to hear it. I already fucked up. And then Sid's dad eventually, so we cut over to Sid, who's outside the restaurant, and Sid's dad is seeing her puke, and Sid's dad says, you know how we were talking about the thing about you, we would know when you hit it big or you would make it.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is the fucking
it.
thing.
Yeah.
And Marcus is in the fucking kitchen, and he's staring at the clock. It says every second counts that I think Luca sent to him, and his phone is ringing, and there's just nonstop calls. And Sid is like puking her guts out, and she has like the smile on her face, and Carmy's just stuck in the fucking fridge waiting to get cut out from the fridge, and that's how the episode ends. And yeah, just what a mindfuck episode, dude.
Yeah. There was one part that we skipped over which I thought was funny, was when he goes out and he finds Josh smoking crack or whatever in the back, and then he's like, oh man, does this mean I'm gonna get fired? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I think I have to fire you. And he's like, wait a minute, let me go ask. And then he goes back inside, and he's like, Sid, he's like, you're not gonna believe this. And she's like, what? And he's like, well, I know where Josh is. And she's like, what? He's outside smoking crack. And she's like, no, shut up. And he's like, nah, for real. He's like, I mean, he says it helps him. He says it's like, you saw how fast he was moving. And she's like, fuck, that's a good point. And he's like, I mean, do we have to fire him? And she's like, yeah, you have to fire him. And then he goes back out there and he's like, oh yeah, man. He's like, I have to fire you. And he's like, oh, you're fucking lame, man. He's like, fucking, come on, man. Don't be like this.
Yeah,
That was funny, but
man, what a fucking episode to end season 2. I think the thing I liked, or at least how I interpreted it, was that Carmy is not necessary, or at least I thought so, because Sid was capable of stepping up and having the restaurant work,
yeah,
flowing, instead of taking the reins and feeling like everything was put on him. At least Sid has the common sense to let somebody else work with her. Like, she's not going to sabotage their chances of succeeding by her taking the reins and everything.
Right.
She's smart enough to recognize that Richie has a skill set, and she put him in a position to succeed, and they were able to make it out through the night. And then Carmy I think it's rather interesting that the season ended with Carmy being near a fridge, and then at the start of the season, that's how it also happened, where with Claire and Carmy meeting at the fridge.
Well, the fridge has been very important to the fucking storyline, if you think about it, because the fridge is where they found all the money. I mean, fuck. The fridge is, where he like first kind of beats her. Then the fridge is what undoes their whole fucking relationship.
Yeah, so I don't know if like the fridge is like hell. He was 1 foot away from hell, and then he actually steps in, or it's that's Carmy being, because he was a cold motherfucker in the last bit of the episode, and he was also in the fridge itself.
Yeah.
You know, if you see,
I think you're right. I think that's a very.
He was also left in the cold, and he also left Claire in the cold.
Yep. Good. Leave her behind. Cold-blooded.
But
That's how you gotta
ultimately, I mean, shit, dude. I think the best part of this season has been the redemption of fucking Richie.
Yeah, man.
He's basically my favorite character right now.
Yep, me too. Main fucking character energy right there.
Took the reins, responsibility is like, it's on me, coach. I'm going in. Put me in, coach.
I got this shit.
He said he got it. And
Handled it.
You know what's funny is that fucking Richie didn't bitch. He basically centered himself, took care of business. Because when he found out his fucking wife was gonna be getting married or whatever, he didn't sulk. He didn't fucking cry. He took fucking care of business, man.
Yeah, just handled shit. Top fucking notch. Man, Carmi's a bitch. He can get fucked.
Yeah, fuck him. I think the fact that he blamed everything else, he blamed. Just what a fucking asshole, dude.
Yeah.
I also have to say real quickly, I don't know if I like Claire as a fold to Carmi as far as like a romantic relationship goes. I feel like she's basically a therapist to him. And Sid is too a little bit, but I don't think Claire was anything more than a thing for Carmi to basically solve his own problems. Like she was basically his therapist. I'm like, I don't know if it was so much a romantic relationship.
Yeah. I hope they don't get back together, man. I hope they don't. I hope she's gone. I hope she's
gone.
just in the wind, man. He don't need this shit.
If the restaurant's gonna succeed, fuck, man.
Yeah, he
can't-
doesn't need that distraction.
It doesn't work. He evidently having a relationship is a fucking distraction to him. So take it out of the equation, and the Bear's good to go.
Yeah, exactly. Success, 100%. Michelin star is sky's the limit.
And I also think it's a bitch move, just real quickly. I also think that Carmi believing that everything is on him and not being able to realize that the only reason that they were able to make it through that night is because he taught everybody else so well. What an asshole.
Yeah, what an asshole. What a fucking asshole. Anyways.
I don't know if I have anything else to add, but season 2, what a step up from season 1. I think I just hope fucking Carmi gets kicked in the nuts in season 3, dude.
Yeah, me too. Fucking A. But seemingly this will be the turnaround, it seems like. This is when there's no way she's coming back from this. There's no way that their relationship's coming back from this blow.
Not after all that horrible shit he said.
Yeah, so it's done. And this is probably what he needs to get back on track, I feel like.
Hopefully.
So, anyways, you got anything else to add?
No, get us out of here.
All right, sounds good. Anyways, if you want to listen to more of our podcast, go to GameRageMagazine.com. Go to Game Rage Magazine on Instagram and TikTok, at Game Rage Mag, Twitter/X, at Game Rage Magazine on YouTube. And you can go to All Gas No Trash Official to see Adam and follow him.
Or don't.
Yeah, or don't. Anyways, that'll do it for us. We'll catch you on the next one. Oh, hey there, buddy. It's me, 1930s announcer guy, here to congratulate you on making it through this episode. As our heroes are getting in their jalopies and riding off into the literal sunset, they wanted me to tell you thanks for listening to their radio broadcast, and should you be so kind as to follow them on some fancy schmancy radio station publication called Instagram and TikTok at Game Range Magazine, and on some other thing called Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Also, they wanted me to inform you and ask if you could be so kind again as to visit something called a website at www.GameRageMagazine.com. I don't know what that is, buddy, but you should probably go do those things. And, don't forget to tune in next time to the Game Rage Movies and TV radio broadcast.